A rich businesswoman receives a speeding ticket, enters Judge Frank Caprio's court, and promptly begins disrespecting him, declines to pay, and attempts to depart in the middle of the hearing. However, Judge Caprio's subsequent actions will demonstrate that wealth cannot purchase respect and that overconfidence leads to repercussions. This is the account of Patricia Whitmore, illustrating the outcome when a sense of privilege confronts genuine power in a legal setting where integrity outweighs financial status. Tell us your location, as this narrative about responsibility strikes a chord globally among those weary of seeing affluent people believe regulations are not for them. Wednesday morning, 10 a.m., Providence Municipal Court. Judge Frank Caprio readies for what appears to be a standard speeding matter when his bailiff quietly cautions him. Your Honor, this individual has been problematic with court personnel. The cited person, Patricia Whitmore, 48 years old, ticketed for going 25 miles per hour above the limit in a residential zone. The officer's records state the individual was confrontational, asserted she was too significant to be pulled over, and initially would not sign the ticket. Patricia Whitmore arrives dressed entirely in high-end fashion, holding an expensive purse, repeatedly checking her mobile device, and making it obvious through her demeanor that she views this process as unworthy of her. Miss Whitmore, Judge Caprio starts formally. You are present for a speeding violation. Please come forward. Patricia approaches slowly, still focused on her phone. Miss Whitmore, I require your complete focus. Please put your device aside. Patricia glances up with clear irritation. I am managing crucial business affairs. Can we hurry this along? I have genuinely important tasks today. The court atmosphere instantly tightens at her disrespectful manner toward the judge. Miss Whitmore, this court is significant, and you will provide it your undivided attention. Now, you were ticketed for traveling 55 inches or 30 miles per hour area. What is your plea? This entire situation is absurd. That speed limit is unreasonable for that street. I travel it daily and have never encountered an issue. Judge Caprio's face stays composed but resolute. That was not my question. How do you plead to the accusation? Okay, whatever. I was speeding. Can I simply pay this and go? I do not have time for this. Judge Caprio examines the ticket information while Patricia continues displaying restlessness. Miss Whitmore, going 25 miles per hour over the limit in a residential neighborhood is severe. There are children, families. Patricia cuts in. I am familiar with that area. Those individuals should instruct their children not to play close to the road. I should not have to drive 30 miles per hour because parents cannot watch their kids correctly. The courtroom responds with noticeable disapproval at her insensitive stance on child protection. Miss Whitmore, the speed limit is in place to safeguard all community members, not only the young. Your demeanor regarding this citation worries me. My attitude? Patricia's tone elevates. My perspective is that I am an accomplished entrepreneur receiving instruction from a local magistrate regarding travel on a route I utilize every day. This is an inefficient use of my schedule and public funds. Judge Caprio rises, his tolerance evidently diminishing. Miss Whitmore, I must inform you that you are present in the judicial chamber. You will demonstrate proper regard for these proceedings. Regard for what? For you mechanically approving citations to produce income? I understand this procedure. I will settle your penalty and conclude this matter. Miss Whitmore, your penalty for this infraction is $350 plus legal fees. Patricia scoffs derisively. That's all. I expend the largest sum for a midday meal. Simply charge my account and I will depart. Judge Caprio's demeanor stiffens. This is not a dining establishment, Miss Whitmore. This is a legal tribunal, and you are approaching it as a nuisance instead of a significant issue. Because it is a nuisance. You are characterizing me as a lawbreaker for operating a vehicle somewhat quickly on a deserted street. Judge Caprio tries to clarify the gravity of her offense, but Patricia's presumption only grows stronger. Miss Whitmore, I am reviewing your motor vehicle history. You possess 3 previous speeding citations within the past 2 years. So what? I compensated for every one. That is the system, correct? You issue fines. I pay them. All parties are satisfied. No, Miss Whitmore, that is not the system. Every infraction signifies hazardous operation of a vehicle that might injure other individuals. Patricia makes an overt gesture of dismissal. Oh, spare me. I am a superb motorist. I have operated a vehicle for 3 decades without a collision. Your absence of collisions is lucky, but it does not justify recurrent speeding offenses. Listen, Judge. Patricia states his designation with clear disdain. I am an individual with a full agenda. I manage 3 enterprises. I provide jobs for more than 200 individuals, and I supply a greater amount to this municipality's tax revenue than most individuals present in this chamber will generate throughout their entire lives. The spectators react with shock at her overt superiority and discourtesy. Miss Whitmore, your economic standing has no bearing on your duty to adhere to motor vehicle regulations. Truly? Because from my viewpoint, it appears this entire framework is designed to pressure individuals like myself who genuinely add value to the community. Judge Caprio's tone turned severe. Miss Whitmore, I will request you one final instance to exhibit proper respect for this court. And if I refuse, what will you do, Judge? Penalize me with additional currency that I am indifferent to? You cannot frighten me. I am not a frightened adolescent or an impoverished individual who must show excessive deference to you. The court chamber becomes utterly quiet, astonished by Patricia's blatant scorn for legal power. Miss Whitmore, your conduct in this courtroom is as troubling as your speeding. Both demonstrate a neglect for regulations and the welfare of others. Patricia retrieves her mobile device once more. Is this concluded? Because I genuinely have significant appointments today. Place that device away. Miss Whitmore, we are not finished. Actually, I believe we are. Patricia turns to face the door. Send the invoice. My assistant will handle the payment. If you find this unbelievable, press the like button and subscribe to Judge Stories YT. We bring you amazing courtroom scenes like this one. Miss Whitmore, if you move any closer to that exit without my authorization, you will be found in contempt of this court. Patricia holds, spinning around with a smug expression. Contempt for what? For not being awed by your small domain here? For consistently showing disrespect to these proceedings? For trying to depart during a session? And for displaying the very demeanor that makes you hazardous on our streets? A hazard? I'm a hazard because I don't bow down to a judge in some small local court. Judge Caprio's tone becomes commanding, resonating through the room. You're a hazard because you think regulations don't concern you. You're a hazard because you assume your money frees you from basic politeness and legal duties. And you're a hazard because you care nothing for others' well-being. This is absurd. I'm going. Patricia moves another step toward the exit. Bailiff, please make sure Miss Whitmore stays in this room. The bailiff advances and Patricia's assurance falters for the first time. You can't detain me here, Miss Whitmore. I certainly can. You are in my courtroom and you will remain until this hearing is finished. Now take a seat. Patricia stays on her feet, her pride battling with the new awareness that she may not be as in charge as she believed. Miss Whitmore, Sit down immediately, or I will add a contempt citation to your speeding offense. Patricia gradually goes back to her spot, no longer focused on her device. Now, let's review your circumstances plainly. You were ticketed for driving far too fast in a neighborhood. This marks your fourth speeding citation in 2 years. You've expressed no regret, no grasp of why this is important, and you've continually disrespected this court. I don't need to stand here and be scolded by, yes, Miss Whitmore, you do. That is precisely what is occurring at this moment.
The courtroom observes as Judge Caprio systematically breaks down Patricia's sense of privilege, step by step.
Judge Caprio leans back, his look revealing resolve instead of fury. Miss Whitmore, your initial penalty was $350. But, considering your conduct in this courtroom, I'm raising it to the highest amount, $500 plus court fees. Patricia's expression reveals real shock. You can't do that. I can, and I have. Furthermore, I'm mandating that you take a defensive driving class within 1 month. A driving safety class? I've driven for years, clearly without success given your 4 speeding tickets. You will finish the course and submit evidence to this court. This is unacceptable. I'll challenge this. You have that option. Miss Whitmore, I urge you to describe to an appellate judge how you behaved in this courtroom and see if they are understanding. Patricia's overconfidence starts to break as the truth of repercussions sinks in. Additionally, I am imposing a contempt of court penalty for your conduct today. That is an extra $200 penalty. For what? For not showing deference, for consistently showing disrespect to this court, for trying to exit during a session, and for displaying total indifference toward legal processes. Therefore, your sum is now $700 plus court fees, making it $850 plus compulsory traffic school. Patricia's face pales, understanding her demeanor has cost her much more than if she had simply been polite. You are penalizing me for being affluent. I am holding you responsible for violating the law and for displaying contempt for the justice system. Your riches have no bearing on your duties as a resident. I wish to speak to your manager. I do not have a manager, Miss Whitmore. I am the presiding judge of this local court. But once more, you are free to appeal. Subscribe to Judge Stories YT if you wish to view more instances where privileged conduct encounters actual repercussions. Patricia stands quietly, maybe for the initial time understanding that her wealth and standing hold no weight in this courtroom. Miss Whitmore, I want you to comprehend something. This court encounters individuals from all walks of life. Some struggle to pay their penalties. Others, like you, see them as trivial, but the law is the same for all. Patricia stayed quiet. Her previous conceit entirely vanished. When you speed through residential areas, you are not merely violating a regulation. You are endangering lives. Kids reside there. Senior citizens stroll there. Families live there. Your haste is not more vital than their security. Your demeanor today revealed to me precisely why you continue receiving citations. You believe regulations do not concern you. You think your professional achievements excuse you from fundamental respect and legal responsibilities. For the first instance, Patricia appears truly uneasy instead of scornful. I will tell you what I tell every person who comes before me. This court values your integrity more than your finances. Today you demonstrated very bad integrity. Patricia finally speaks. May I simply pay the penalty and go? Yes, but first you will express regret to this court for your disrespectful actions. What? You heard me. You will apologize for your disrespect or I will include another contempt penalty. Patricia stands silently, arrogance conflicting with practicality. Miss Whitmore, I am waiting. I am sorry for my actions in court today. Miss Whitmore, say it sincerely. Patricia takes a breath. Your Honor, I apologize for being disrespectful to you and to this court. My conduct was improper. Judge Caprio nods. Apology accepted. Now, let me be explicit about what follows. You will pay $850 in penalties and fees. You will finish traffic school within 30 days. You will submit evidence of completion to this court. If you get one additional speeding citation in the coming next year, I will personally examine your situation and think about revoking your license. Patricia nods, finally grasping the seriousness of her circumstances. And Miss Whitmore, one additional point. The next occasion you drive through that area at 55 miles per hour, I want you to recall this instant. Recall that your schedule is not more important than other individuals' lives. Yes, Your Honor. You are excused. The clerk will handle your fine. As Patricia heads to the clerk's office, she moves in a changed manner, with less pride, more thoughtfully, maybe starting to realize that respect is not awarded due to riches, but gained via personality and conduct. Patricia Whitmore's tale shows us that a sense of privilege and overconfidence will invariably encounter their equal in a just court, that cash cannot purchase esteem, and that responsibility is for all, no matter how accomplished they believe themselves to be. Judge Frank Caprio demonstrated again that genuine power does not require volume or force. It just must be resolute, just, and steadfast when confronted with insolence. Here is the issue for each person. When we reach prosperity, do we employ it to request preferential handling, or do we recall that affluence and rank do not excuse us from fundamental respect and lawful duties? Patricia discovered that courtrooms are the ultimate leveler, where your integrity counts far more than your financial worth, and where judges such as Frank Caprio make certain that fairness is genuinely impartial to economic standing.
Remember to subscribe to Judge Stories YT for additional amazing court instances where fairness is delivered and presumptuous conduct receives precisely what it merits.